truth of the matter is, I want to vlog. I want to do so many things, but I can't just get started. Number one, the room looks terrible. I mean, it's all junky. It looks terrible. It's not conducive to working. It looks horrible. Yeah, the room looks terrible. I need to clean up in here. I need to edit videos. I need to do this. I need to do that. I want to chill, take a day off because it's a lot going on this week. But I can't really take a day off. Not right now, So, I guess I better do something. I chose to work. And guess who wanted to watch? Coop. You're on camera. Say hey. Hey, Cooper. Yeah, I definitely woke him up. But yeah, man, I'm deciding to work because I need to, I'll give you a little history knowledge. I just, as an entrepreneur, man, I don't really take that lightly. I'm really trying to milk this thing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to learn this balance, how to balance work life and, married life. And being a man, being the head of your household, making sure everything gets taken care of in the house. It's a lot. I'm gonna just spill this right here. Not really just spill it, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna just talk about this real quick. There is ups and downs of being in business, It's not all glitz and glamour, And most people know that, sorta. You gotta really know what you are getting yourself into. There is some liberties, There's a lot of liberties in being in business for yourself. It's a beautiful thing for, to have an idea or a skill set and to be able to use the skill set that you love to do, that you are dedicating a portion of your life in doing, and to be able to provide a service for someone else and let it be the breadwinner for yourself. I feel, and this is just my personal feelings, it's not for everybody. I'm gonna tell you why. I read a book. Well, I listened to a book. I read some chapters, but I listened to a book called The E-Myth, and it's by Michael E. Gerber, one of the two. But he wrote this book, man, and it basically breaks down the myth of being an entrepreneur. And one of the things that he broke down was, having systems as an entrepreneur, making sure that you understand that that you have a gift. Yes, you have a skill, and a lot of people go into business doing the same thing that they used to work for someone else about. Prime example. Check this out. You're a mechanic. You used to work under a business, under a well-known business, and you're skilled at what you do. You're really good. Everybody, when they have a problem, they come to you. You have the answers, and you feel that, I'm the head honcho. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dude. But then you come across things that you don't like to do. Take out the trash. You may have to fill out some paperwork. Something totally outside your area. You're like, I'm a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the other stuff. This is out my comfort zone. Or maybe you have to, go and make a errand, run an errand or something for somebody. Something that you don't do, taking you away from what you like to do. And you're like, man, the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm on somebody else's time clock. Or, this is a good one. You need to take a day off, but you got to ask somebody else about your day. And then they may not give it to you. They might come to you and be like, nah, I I don't think you can take that day off. However, you see that same person, your manager, your boss, can take a day off whenever they feel like it. They can come, at any time they feel like it. They can go home early, but you can't. You don't have that liberty. You don't, because you're working under their supervision. You're working under their name, under their company. And you like, yo, that ain't right. I'm my own person. I have my own needs just like everybody else. To be honest with you, if I leave, y'all gonna be in trouble, So a lot of people go in business. He talk about this in the book. And when you go into business, yeah, man, I'm telling you, you got the clients that you used to work, used to bring their cars or bring their item to you just to fix. Oh, they done left that company. They ain't coming to them no more, but they coming to you. Why? Because they know you that dude, you know what I'm saying? Or you that person, you know what I'm saying? But what we realize is there's 3 parts of running the business. You have the entrepreneur or the head guy, the CEO, the person that come up with the ideas, the person that is in charge of moving everything forward, the person that looks like they're not doing anything, look like they're living a lime life, but they're actually controlling everything. They're knowledgeable of everything. Then you got person under that, that's the managers, the governors, the managers, the people that they tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? They might not know how to do your job, but they are in charge of you. They the supervisors. They got to make sure you're doing your job right. You know what I'm saying? They're the one coming up with different policies and on you about certain stuff. Those people, they don't get a whole lot of likes. And then you got your position. You the person that actually, make the company move forward. Without your skill set, hey, where would they be? You know what I'm saying? So when you walk out of that kind of environment into a liberating place, as in owning your own business or owning your own your job, self-employed, whatever, what we don't realize is that you got to play all 3 parts. You got to be, you the CEO now, you the head honcho. Nobody is gonna make that decision for you. You didn't even think about. Now you got to think about when you was working at other job. You had to think about what supplies that's needed that you don't have to use. Of course, you use your tools, but you got to think about paper. You got to think about a receipt book. You got to think about a checkbook. You got to think about the checkings account. How much money coming in? How much money going out? You know what I'm saying? You got to keep up with the books because tax time coming. You go sit in front of a tax professional and they like. I can't do nothing with this information. You do it all wrong. And now you got to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because number one, you started your business in the middle of a tax year. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little confusing now because you don't know what to do. So that can be frustrating. And now you find yourself trying to learn how to be the CEO. And now you get in the CEO position. And now you're thinking and trying to figure it out. Now you got a robe on, but you realizing you ain't bringing in no money. Why? Because you got to spend most of your time thinking about how to work on the business and you not working in the business. You know what I'm saying? You can't, someone calling you to do this and do that, but you got to spend most of your time, running an errand or trying to get this set up, get that set up. And you promised someone that you was going to have something ready by this time, but you didn't because things come up. You know what I'm saying? So because you got to handle that. Now you get so consumed with the stuff that you got to do that you bring that stuff home to your family. Your family, what you doing? Why you haven't bring anything home? Or vice versa, you busting it. Oh man, you making things work, yo. I mean, yo, you got a project here, project there. You busting them out. The money coming in, bank account looking lovely. You know what I'm saying? You looking forward to paying the bills and having extra left over. You looking forward to making more moves in the company. You know what I'm saying? But, a month went by and you didn't spend no time with your family. How do you juggle that? Those are the things that is you have to really consider as being an entrepreneur. It's that balance. And sometimes you just can't, you have to learn how to balance the two. Learn what to sacrifice, how to make the business work, and also be there for your family. This is my personal struggle. You know what I'm saying? However, I did not leave my previous job because I felt like I could do it by myself. Because what I'm doing now is not what I did at my previous job. I love my job. I love working at. I used to be a teacher at GMG. and I loved it. I was getting real comfortable because my plan was to be there for 5 years and then maybe consider something different. But of course, the Lord actually told me to quit my job. He told me to do it. And to be honest with you, I told him no. I ain't about to do that. Why I told him no? You know what I'm saying? A lot of you waiting for the Lord to tell you I'll leave your job, but nah, I wasn't ready to do that. Why? Because I had plans. You know what I'm saying? My plans was to be there a certain amount of years to try to get some work experience under my belt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting in, this is my, my second year, going on my third, and the Lord was like, one summer, he was like, quit your job. I was in worship, yo. I was worshiping, I was praying at the house, you know what I'm saying, well, in my apartment, and I was just praying and, doing my regular morning worship, and it just was like, quit your job. And there was a chair in the room, and I'm like, Lord, I thank you, and like, going in, and Lord was like, quit your job. I'm like, I sat down. I literally sat down in the chair. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? And like, I knew it was the Lord. I knew his voice. You know what I'm saying? I knew it, but it was like that quick thought. It was like, nah, this can't be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me out of worship. I felt like it took me out of worship, but it didn't. It set me down and listen. A lot of times we pray and stuff like that, and we forget to listen. You know what I'm saying? But he intervened in the middle of worship, and it was like, quit your job. And I'm like, no, this can't be real. You know what I'm saying? This can't quit my job. See, I don't understand where I was in my life at the time. It was not only that I wanted to be a loyal employee, but I got engaged with my wife a few months earlier, and I was planning. I had already was planning on getting be in the process of doing this rent to own thing to get the house that I was living in. But in order for you to do that, you gotta have money coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like I had everything set based off the income that I was making. I was going straight into it. The job that I had, I was in a place where I could provide for me and my wife, pay all the bills and everything, like groceries and everything, without having to spend my wife having to spend anything. I was happy about that because I was in a good place financially, and that's all I wanted to do. As a man, my main thing is, can I provide for this woman? And I was in a place where I could provide for her, so I was very happy. But then the Lord told me to quit my job, and He didn't say anything else. It wasn't like, quit your job, start your company, do this and that. Nah, it wasn't none of that. It was, quit your job. What? Nah, you playing. So I said no. So I'm not quitting my job. And I think we was out for 4th of July or something like that when he told me that. And when I went back to work, I was miserable. I mean, I was coming to work and I was doing the work, but it was like my spirit stopped at the door every day. It was like, it was a weird feeling. I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. It was like, I'm here, but I'm not supposed to be here. I'm talking about throughout the whole day. I'm ready for the periods in which you get a break. I love what I did. You know what I'm saying? I was making tracks for the kids. We was doing summer camp thing. But every time I sat down I had my own office. I had finally got my own closed off office. I had the studio here and my desk. Man, I was set, man. I was good. And I was, but I would sit in my office, man, and I would do the work, but I would look forward to lunch so that I can leave the place. And it's almost like my sanity was outside of the room and I was just going through the motions. So I think that Wednesday or that Thursday, my supervisor, the owner of the company, Mr. and Mrs. Gray, they was in there. It was in the office, and they called me in, and Mr. Gray was like, "Yo, is something? Are you okay? Is something wrong? Like, what's wrong?" And they could already tell that something had changed. So the Holy Spirit was like, just go ahead and tell him. Right before then, I had already said that, okay, I might consider this thing. So I had to tell him, man. And the funny thing is, when I sat down, I was like, Mr. Gray, something is wrong, man. I believe the Lord told me to quit my job. And he was like, well, we had already talked about it. We knew that that we wasn't, you wasn't supposed to be here long anyway. And it kind of blew my mind because the Lord had already prepared them for what, he told me and what was going to happen. And that's how I knew, especially that was my confirmation, you know what I'm saying? To go in that route, just go ahead and tell them what the Holy Spirit told me, and they had already been prepared for it. So that's my testimony, However, now I'm here. I've been in business for 2 years. The first year was hard because I'm married now, and I'm in business. I don't know how to balance. I didn't have clients like that. I made a lot of bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? I made some horrible decisions in business. But the Lord taught me, man. I really had to depend on Him. And for those of you that want to go in business, that's what I recommend. Like I said, there's a lot of liberties to it. I can take off when I feel like it. But at the same time, I still have to continue work. The Lord provide the work, and it's my job to be faithful over the job that He gives me. And just being smart about financial decisions and just life decisions. Not have to really worry about what somebody else. And that's another thing in business, man. You just can't worry about what other people think about what you're doing. You just got to do it. So those of you that worry about people, if you wait on people to give you approval, then most times you're never going to get it. Make sure the Lord is telling you and leading you in the direction, and do it. He places in us the things that He wants us to do. Our talents and gifts is inside of us, for us to do. So leap, you know what I'm saying? Leap into it, man. So that's my spiel for today. Yep, I'm out. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, definitely hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, definitely hit the subscribe button. There's a lot to see. Black Couch every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. Just had April Lewis video drop. Also, I got a documentary out called Use Your Voice. Don't forget, because your voice is very valuable. And remember, you paying tax dollars, so you got to vote for the right people. But yeah, that's what that's about. But yeah, so that's it.